Great, thank you for the introduction. All right, good evening. So I wanted to share an idea with the community. We were contacted recently about some traffic concerns at the intersection of Sisk and Greenleaf Court. And there's about 10 businesses back there, and they've had some issues with trying to get access onto Sisk. Sisk has nearly 10,000 vehicles a day during the weekday. On the weekends, a bit less. Greenleaf has about 800 vehicles a day, so not nearly as busy. But that two-lane road is more and more difficult to access in and out of. So we had a business owner contact us and ask us what we could do. Well, it's not an easy situation to solve, but the one idea that we're thinking about and we want to share with the community, and you guys are such a great connection to the community, helping us do this outreach. This is really the first step to outreach, to see if there's any concerns with it before we start contacting the landowners in this court area. But the idea is to signalize that intersection, not widen it, just signalize it. It's a two-lane road on Sisk, and it's obviously a two-lane road on Greenleaf Court. If it were signalized as is today, then it would provide safe access into that court. It would also slow down traffic on Sisk to some degree, which is good for some, but maybe bad for others. And so it could be contentious, and that's why I wanted to come out here this evening, share this idea. Now, the way this project would move forward is if all the landowners in Greenleaf, in the court, if they would support it. Because what we would have to do to see this project go forward is create a special district of all those businesses, and they would have to pay through an assessment the cost of that signal, and probably over time, and there'd be a plan to go with that. But before we get into those details, I would like to just get the word out. And I know I'm not going to get much back tonight, but I want to get it in the minutes and get it on this agenda so that people that catch the minutes or maybe catch it through just word of mouth, if they have concerns, we'd like to start hearing now. Or if they think it's a great idea, we'd like to hear that as well. And we'd really like to hear from some of the business owners in there. Now, we'll contact them at some point, but this is just a very early step.
Do you know what any of them think besides the one?
No.
Okay.
So what I would like to do with the one, I've been corresponding with email with the one landowner, and I'm going to ask him to take a petition around to his neighboring businesses and see how they feel about this idea. I suspect they'll like the idea of a signal because it'll give them better access, but the cost they may not like as much, because this kind of a signal, this is round numbers, could be like a $300,000 cost. And even if you spread that over 10 years, over 10 businesses, you do the math pretty quickly on that. It's not real inexpensive. And so, I think there may be some concerns with that, but you got to ask. You never know until you ask. And so this is just kind of an early step.
Now, there's certain times of day that the traffic backs up between on Sisk Road from the stop sign to even the light in front of Boomers.
Yes. So now, what's signal, are you talking about the signal of Bangs or the signal of the stop and ramps?
The stop sign at Greenleaf.
Oh, wait.
Well, that's at
the ramps.
At the ramps. So the ramps are being signalized as part of the interchange project. So here within about a year, that signal will be in and operational. And I think that'll free up that movement quite a bit. But it's a good point because you add one more signal, and I think it's about 500 or 600 feet. It's not very far.
Yeah.
And certainly we could synchronize the two signals together, but it would still add one level more of conflict or congestion point, I guess. But the signal will solve the backing up, I think. Yeah, that's the plan, the widening of that intersection. So.
Well, the Collindale Bridge, those signals aren't synced.
No, it's a mess. It's construction zone. So they're trying to, and we had that even on Kiernan. We had some signal issues the other day. Someone actually ran into one of the signal poles, one of the temporaries, and we have cameras out there detecting traffic to know when to turn the lights green and red. And it just got out of angle just a bit, and the delay was really messed up.
You can get stuck 20 minutes on that bridge on a weekend. It's ridiculous.
Yes, but
or
it's
get
construction.
Stuck at the stop sign.
Construction.
Speaking of construction,
Painful construction, yes.
I read a news article and saw some TV reports that Allendale project might be delayed.
Well, so the project that's under construction is going to continue, but there's a piece of it that's not under construction that really needs to be finished, and so the piece that is in jeopardy is, where Carl's Jr. is? Mm-hmm. So there's no widening happening on that corner, and there really should be. There should be a dedicated turn lane to keep the traffic flowing. And it's I think it's about a $4 or $5 million project to fix that corner. And that funding for that is in jeopardy. And so that's what they're talking about. It's kind of a phase 2. But if the money can stay on track, then as the big project is constructed, they'll move right into the second phase, and it'll happen pretty much all at once.
And then when is the railroad crossing at Dakota
Gonna open?
Boulevard gonna open?
Oh, man, hopefully soon, but I think it was out like another year.
Who do I need
It's
to
a long
talk
ways,
to?
because they have to get all those other ramps built first. They have to finish them. You have to get, the temporary ramp has to be completely not needed anymore, put everybody up on the new ramp completely. And so I can check on that. I think it was a long ways out. So have patience. I know it's painful.
So then, Matt, on the south Greenleaf Circle, I guess.
South, yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Down closer, now will that actually tie in with the ramp?
Yes, but it'll be limited access. It'll only be a right in, right out. There'll be no left access out because it's gonna be a ramp connector. So there'll be we call them pork chops, but they're like raised islands to delineate people, so you won't have great access there. So I should have clarified, the intersection I'm talking about is the northern intersection. And it's beyond the improvements of Ellendale. If you go out there today, there's curb and gutter on the Ellendale project that stops right before it hits that northern intersection. I'm talking about that intersection, the one that is gonna have no improvements to it. Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the one that comes off of Sisk and goes back on.
Yes, it's really not a court, but the name court is on it. I don't know, it's a
Well,
circle.
yeah. But you know why there's so much business, so much traffic on there?
Because the businesses
Local
are
people-
successful.
Somebody has figured it out, and when it backs up, they zip off on the north, and they come back around and cut in on the.
Do they really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, okay,
That's
so,
90% of the traffic.
all right, so we took traffic counts, just recently, and I don't know if there's that much traffic, because there's only 800 cars a day. That's not crazy for for that kind of business,
Well,
but maybe.
They're not.
But that'll go away when the
businesses
signal
aren't-
happens.
Yeah.
All right, all
That'll
right.
go away.
Well, then maybe problem solved.
Well,
So I didn't think the problem solved.
Before
I
you
think-
spend 30 million, you want to check that.
3 million.
Because I've been
300,000.
going down.
And we wouldn't
just
spend
one
it.
after another.
Yeah, I understand.
Zip around,
Yeah.
and then they cut in.
All right, so the businesses are gonna have to fund this,
Yeah.
100%.
They
So
all
if
know.
they don't have a problem, then we don't have a problem,
Yeah.
right? But anyways, yes, sir.
I had to think about this tax, and you're losing money on gasoline tax because nobody's, because the
Price
price
is
of
low.
gas is down.
Right,
Is it taxed on the gallon?
So-
Or is it taxed on no, it's taxed on the gallon.
so there's
So if you
two.
use it more because the price is down, you should be getting more money.
So the vast majority of
Who
it
they
is,
kidding?
okay, hold on. The vast majority is an excise tax. It's a set amount on the gallon, no matter what the price is, right? But that's only a portion of it. The other portion is based upon a sales tax, a percentage of the total. And that one, it's a little bit complicated because they did this tax swap a few years back, but they adjust it every year in the form of an excise tax, but it's based upon a sales tax idea. So it's a sales tax. So when the price of fuel goes down, the revenue goes down because it's a percentage only, right? And then when the consumption is down, obviously everything's down. And the combination of the two, this year, right now, the revenue is off 23%, lower. Next year, it's projected to be lower again by 9%, a little more than 9%, so more than 30% off revenue. And that's because price is really low. That's the main driver. Consumption is actually off in general. And then there's some people that just don't pay it anymore, right? Electric vehicles and hybrids and all that stuff. They're not paying very much. That's the problem. But it's legit. It's going to be 30% off next year. I mean, total combined. That's a problem.
But Matt, vehicle miles aren't down, right? The VMC is down. I think those miles have gone up, but it's just because more efficient.
More efficient. That's right. That's right. So consumption's down. When you look at the graph, consumption, it's trickling down slightly. Price is way down. I mean, price is what, half almost? Well, it is half, isn't it? It's half. It's killing us. Anyways, 23% off this year, and that affects our maintenance, and it also affects our capital projects, and that's what we just heard about, like that STIP is what they call it. It's major. It's major. So we had a slurry project planned, we canceled it, killed it. We had 85 miles of conventional chip plan, killed it. We had 4 patch trucks running last year. We're now going to be running 3 this year and 2 next year. We are eliminating 6 positions, 6 maintenance positions. That's what 32% means. It's big. It's really big. It's devastating. And you go drive the roads today, they're horrible. Our rating today is a 55 on a 0 to 100. We got a solid F. Within a couple of years, we're going to be, in that 40s range. That's bad. That's almost the point where you'll never catch up again. Because now all those roads that you just neglected, not just a chip seal and overlay will fix them. You'll be rebuilding them, which you probably won't anyways, so you'll just be driving bad roads. And the solution is right at hand today. There is a solution for it. It's at the legislators' fingertips today. The governor has a proposal. Senator Bell has a really great proposal, and Assemblymember Frazier has a proposal on the table today that if the legislation could agree, they could approve it tomorrow. They could. And it would solve these problems immediately, like right now.
You want us
But-
to write letters?
Yes. Yes, I do.
What's the legislation?
Well, so this is state legislation, and so your local legislators, you have an assembly member, yes, and you have a senator. Okay?
Galgione.
Hmm?
Yes.
So Senator Bell's bill, they're all combinations of the same thing. Senator Bell's is the biggest one, and his essentially would raise vehicle licensing fee. It would raise the gas tax a bit, and there was another component. What was the other component? It was,
What is a bit?
well, okay, so I don't know the numbers exactly. I can get them for you though. I can send you a brief description of each bill. Assemblymember Frazier's is almost as big as Senator Bell's. It's the same combination, and the governor has the same. They're all the same. It's in essence, it's a vehicle licensing fee increase. So then everybody pays, even electric vehicles pay a little bit, right? And then a little bit of gas tax increase. I think there was a third component. I'm drawing a blank. I can get summaries and send them to you. And I can also send you legislative contact information.
So I'm shocked. I was actually expecting you to say something about self-help. I didn't see this coming.
That's certainly part of the solution too, but, the thing of it is that, well, oh, that was the third component. So the governor and all the other components, all the other legislators, the third component is they'll set aside money for self-help counties. So like the governor was going to set aside $250 million for road maintenance for those counties that have self-help taxes, the sales tax. So we're not eligible, obviously. But in every one of those bills, there's a component that you could be eligible for if you're self-help. Anyways, that's the problem. And they can solve it. They just don't have the will to do it yet. And it's politics.
Do you want to say it out loud? Stanislaus County wants to be a self-help county?
Yes, well, of course. But the
They
thing
might
about,
not know that though.
yes, and the reason I'm not pitching that, because I really want to bring the plan back, and so we're working on a plan for the half-cent sales tax measure that's going to be on your ballot this November. And there's a plan to increase road maintenance. There's a portion of it will go to capital projects, a portion will go to bike and peds, a portion will go to transit, which includes rail and connecting communities. Anyways, there's a lot of great components in there, and I'd like to be able to show it to you graphically. And it's something that this region needs, and a lot of other regions have it, and you can see the benefits of it. San Joaquin County, they've got a plan, and they've got a program that's been in place for 26 years, and you can see it. It shows. It shows from a maintenance standpoint. It shows from a capital standpoint. It shows from economic development. Infrastructure drives your economy. Bad infrastructure, bad economy. They're connected. This community, if you had better infrastructure, you would attract stronger economy.
Does Merced County have it?
No, they're going the same time we are.
How about Madera?
Madera, I don't think they're self-help tax.
I know Fresno does.
Fresno does, right. A lot of them do. Anyways, more to come on that. I don't want to get down the weeds because I don't have anything to show you tonight, but I'll be back on that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Any
Any
other
questions?
questions?
I don't have a business on Greenleaf or anything, and I don't really drive down Sisk, but I was thinking if they do put a light in, could it be when someone wants to leave Greenleaf, it just gets activated so that light stays green for Sisk, and then it gets activated when someone pulls up?
Yeah, we would program it such. We would give that priority to Sisk, but, as vehicles come out of Greenleaf, yes. We'd have to work it out because we'd have to also coordinate it with the signal at the ramps. We'd want those to be somewhat together. But yes, green priority on Sisk. 10,000 cars a day versus 800. Sisk has to have priority, for sure. Yes. Any other questions?
Lina had a question.
Oh, I just had a question about, down at the fire station, used to have a sign that says no U-turn or, emergency vehicles only. I have seen almost 6 people get free because they removed that sign. It no longer has a turn lane. Then you need to go down to the next one. As you were heading into town from, you're coming from Pellendale, you're coming in towards,
Oh, on Salida Boulevard.
Salida Boulevard.
Okay.
And as soon as you get through the light, people stop and make a U-turn.
Isn't there a median right there? There's a median, but there's an opening, and they make the U-turn there.
Yeah, it's a double yellow, they're not
Yes.
supposed to, but they don't want to
Well,
wait for
no,
traffic.
a double yellow you can cross. A double, you can't. A double, you can't.
Double more than.
Is a painted
24
island.
inches?
What?
It has to be more, double more than 24, I think.
Yeah,
Because like if
it's
you
a
have a
painted
double
island.
on the main street, you
Right,
can cross
right.
over it, but if it's more than that, you
They need to
can't.
have a sign there saying no U-turn
And
or
that's,
something.
the sign was taken out?
Huh?
Was
The sign
it?
was taken out when they did all this stuff.
Okay.
And, my husband has almost gotten hit several different times, and I've experienced a guy today that just came right up on my back end, and I thought for sure that, I was gonna.
Is this because, are people making the U-turn and they're getting rear-ended?
They're making, because.
So were you making a U-turn?
No, I was going straight.
Lies, Lana, lies.
No, I was going straight, I promise.
Just
you.
testing you.
But, if they would just go down, then there's a dedicated.
I understand.
lane.
I know exactly where it is.
But since the sign is not there, emergency vehicle or no U-turn, they do it anyway.
Okay.
So,
Some big boulders.
you need a sign.
Well, the fire still needs it, the opening though, right? Because that's their opening. That's how they get out. They need
Oh,
it.
yeah, the fire department needs that.
Yeah.
It's just that people do not, the sign isn't there anymore.
Got it.
Tell them they can't make a U-turn.
Okay. Any other road issues out there in
On
Salida?
Sisk, or Slide Boulevard Plaza, right in front of McDonald's and AMPM.
Yes.
People will, if they want to go left on, they're coming off the freeway, they're coming out southbound, they'll get off the freeway, they'll make a right on Slide Boulevard, and then make the U-turn.
Oh, man, that's dirty, isn't it? I don't know.
It was blocked today.
Rocks.
The rocks back.
Yeah, put big rocks.
Construction